nervous, yes, but I think I'm most nervous because I'm giving the Lord's message, and all I want to do is please Him. The title that I gave to Brother Tyler was Are You Striving? Because I know some people like the title at the beginning. We'll be in Luke chapter 9, verse 23 through 26. It says, "And he said to them all, If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. For what is a man advantaged if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away? For whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed, when he shall come in his own glory, and in his Father's, and of the holy angels." I just wanted to look at those, dive a little deeper into them. I've gotten the blessing to be here and listen to each of the men's message on the need to arise. And every single time it's hit me, felt personally. I know it's not personally, but it feels that way, and that's how I felt studying this message was the same thing. So this feels directly at myself. Verse 23, it's talking about denying yourself and living the life that he lived daily. But I want to look at what that looks like. Whether it's the opposition against loved ones, the complete dependence on God, obedience to the Lord, giving the unpopular message, pathway of loneliness, death to self and to the world, and also attacks from the world. That's just a few things that I wrote down from what I took from it. And a big one of obedience to the Lord. I talk to so many people daily about the Lord, and all because of Him. I get to see and visit multiple people a day, and a lot of people just talk about, yes, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. Or the other day, for example, I went on a call, and a guy I was talking to was talking about how he cursed like a sailor and everything, but he'd never used the Lord's name in vain. And that message, close enough, immediately came to mind. And I just hear it so often where it just makes me, I guess, in my heart, it hurts me and makes me want to talk to them more about the Lord and bring people closer to the Lord. Verse 24 says, "For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it." Our fleshly instinct is to save our own lives by selfishness, complacent, or comfort. And the meaning of it, we end up losing our own lives, meaning spiritual. The spiritual pleasure we should have by giving ourselves up for the Lord. Like I said, it continues to bring my head back to not only Brother Derek's message, Close Enough, but Brother Matt's message where he talked about everybody's going to serve something, whether you like to or not. Whether it's, like Brother Matt said, traveling, sports, technology, social media. Whether people like it or not, you're going to serve something. that just hits me on a personal level, just because I know I'm not perfect. And I don't believe anybody in here believes they're perfect. But my goal is to strive and to be Christ-like, as should us all. Move into verse 25. It says, "For what is a man advantage if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away?" I've had struggles with this just because I know a lot of men can be on the same level with me of just wanting to be a provider for my family, give my family, kids, everything that they want and need. Doing everything that I possibly can through my own power to try to make that happen. And it just becomes, I've had multiple examples in my own life of chasing the dollar. And I've also have had the blessing of being able to sit back and trust in the Lord, knowing that He's going to provide, and He has done that in amazing ways, in more ways than I could ever think of. But going back in verse 23, where I was talking about giving the Lord's unpopular message and it being a pathway of loneliness, I wrote down, just went back and wrote down just a few people of what they did for Christ. Like Peter when he traveled to Rome and was crucified upside down, or Jude when he was with Simon on his journey and clubbed to death. I have a list of people. Philip, when he converted nearly all of Scythia to Christianity and traveled to Greece and was crucified. I just felt that it showed to me that for the need to arise, as these men saw Christ come back, and the way I kind of thought about it was, I kind of asked myself, well, why did these men do this? Why did they just go out and preach his message? Why did they tell people? Why did they try to reach out and tell people who he was? And because if you think about it, back in the day, there was nothing to gain. The Roman government, I mean, they hated them. They weren't there to gain something out of it. They weren't there to for anything to gain. And they did all this because of who Christ was, because they saw Christ die and come back. That's all it was, is he died and came back, and they wanted other people to hear that. Why I feel as though that is so important is because today we choose to do things in our own flesh that are complete opposite from the Bible. We choose to be comfortable, not put ourselves in the uncomfortable position to talk to people about who the Lord is, or at least what he's done for us. Because like I've told many of you, I'm not proud of it, but it's part of my testimony, is I convinced all my siblings that there was no God. And like I've said every time, boy, was I wrong. It was not a choice. I didn't just say, okay, I'm going to just follow Christ. I didn't believe in the Lord. It wasn't something I could physically see or touch. So I had no reason to believe it till I was at the lowest point of my life, and I didn't know what to do. And whenever I was in my living room with my daughter when she was an infant at the time, and the only way I can explain it was the room felt empty and it felt like a giant warm hug. And not of my own self, ever since then, my life has completely changed for the better. I know I'm going to fail every single day, but my job is to strive to be like Christ and to try to bring people closer to Him. Because as I know in each and every one of your hearts, as much as it is mine, it's painful to see how people act or live in knowing where they're going whenever we want them to know who the Lord is. This brings me to where I just wanted to talk about the Bible and what it was, or what it is. It's not, the Bible's not just a book. I have my notes in here somewhere. It's not just a book. The Bible is a message with over 300 prophecies in it that were fulfilled. There's a total of over 1,500 years combined messages with prophecies as early in the beginning in Genesis 3:15. We can flip there. In 3:15 it says, "And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his head." That's just one of many promises that was fulfilled later. Not only is it a book and a message full of prophecies that were told and completed, it's also historically accurate. I was talking about how people wanted something that they could physically touch or see, and I was talking to Brother Austin about this. And these people that are like myself that are wanting something physically to see. I mean, archaeologists are using things today from the New and Old Testament to find people, civilizations, and kings they weren't even sure existed. Just for example, I have a couple. It's just people like King Darius showing his existence. Archaeologists found a jar. He's mentioned in a couple books, the books of Daniel, Ezra, Haggai, and Zechariah. Just a couple more. King Ahab. In the Kirk Menolith inscription of, I believe it's Shalmaneser III, it was a recovered document with key aspects of military conquest, destruction of Israel and Aram, building projects, and more, which are biblical accounts that can be found in 2 Kings, 2 Chronicles, and Isaiah. And in the New Testament, they have found public figures like they found the Pilate stone. I think it's Sisyphus. They found a ossuary of Sisyphus, it's a box of bones, which is he was believed to be the high priest who presided over the trial of Jesus, found with 12 other boxes. It's just studying this out it made the Bible not only come to life, but it made me realize, I mean, like the title is, the need to arise to talk to people, tell them who he is, and tell them, I mean, he's coming back. I mean, just like the 300 fulfilled prophecies, over 300 fulfilled prophecies, he promised to come back. So with it only makes sense to me if all of those were fulfilled, why would him promising to be back here not? Like I said, this just hit personal to me. I want to go over to 2 Timothy 2:12. I mean, this is just another verse that should encourage us to live our life for him and to try to bring people closer to him. It says, if we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he also will deny us. I mean, for a lot of things, I know I'm not the smartest, but that seems pretty plain to me. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he will deny us. I've been caught in the middle of conversation where asked if I believed in the Lord, or like I believe discussing with believe Brother Austin. I was telling him about how I was at work, and I got asked a question. Everybody stopped and looked at me because I got asked about holidays and stuff, because I try to constantly talk about the Lord, and every single morning I wake up, or every single morning I get there, they always ask me how I'm doing, and tell them, amazing, the Lord woke me up this morning. And I gave them my answer on it. But what was interesting to me is I was only talking to really one of them, but every single one of them stopped and turned their heads to listen. And I didn't get a response out of all of them. But the biggest thing is they listened to what I had to say. Whether or not they acknowledged it, I know they heard me. And I've constantly had people that I work with ask questions, or the guy I work with, he asked me questions. I talk to him all the time, and whether or not, and this just goes in general, whether or not we get denied or told, hey, I don't want to hear it. I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, these men that traveled to spread his word, that were either crucified or clubbed to death. I mean, what's really there? Yes, there are some bad things that happen today from people trying to spread his word. But in an area like your workspace, or just our town that we're in, or where we work in, the worst you're gonna hear is, I don't want to hear it, or that's it. So what's really stopping you from talking about him? Nothing really. And I know for each and every one of you, and the reason I say each and every one of you is because it was the same thing with myself, that when the Lord saved me, I kind of look at it as, why would I not want everybody to feel that same kind of love? Knowing that I'm nothing that I do not deserve anything from him. I don't owe him anything. He chose me. I just feel as though the least I can do is talk about him and what he's done for me. Show up, not just be a Wednesday, Sunday Christian, but a everyday Christian. I just know everything that he's done for me and provided for me and my family when I'm not ashamed to, I mean, I am ashamed to say that I've questioned it, but I'm not ashamed to sit here and say that the Lord saw everything through and he has always provided no matter what. I was talking about, I know it talks about it in a few verses, but in Acts chapter 1, verse 11, when it's talking about the promise of Jesus returning. Would have helped if I would have brought my Bible up here that had tabs. Acts chapter 1, verse 11 says, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. I mean, it's a promise of the Lord's return. And that's just one of them, one of the verses that talks about it. And while studying this out, I went through a couple different ways of how I just wanted to word it and just say it, just because I know it's a heavy thing on my heart and how important it is, as we've heard from the other men, how important it is to arise and, like I said, talk about who he is and what he's done for us. It's not a debate with other people or just going into depth of things in the Bible. I mean, what they need to hear is at least what he's done for you and who the Lord is. I mean, we have so many so-called Christians that just because they say that they believe in the Lord, I know a lot of times that I hear that, I just, oh, okay, and the conversation just either kind of goes to the side, but it's not, the conversation doesn't go in the way that I should be, that I should still be telling him who he is. And because, I mean, I can sit here and be hypocritical all day. I mean, that's because I know I'm not perfect and things happen, but it's just the close enough is what's really getting us, whether it's us personally or other people that we see, and just as brothers or sisters in Christ, if we see somebody struggling or on a straight path, I mean, out of love, we should correct them. We should either correct them or talk to them, or just because we whether or not it's them going through something or them dealing with something, and we all do, and we have to hold each other accountable. And it goes back to Brother Austin's message of holding the ropes. Who's holding the ropes? And that applies to us with each other and our family and friends. And what are we doing to bring these people, whether we know them or not, whether they're close friends or strangers or family, what are we doing to bring them closer to the Lord? How are we being the example? I know that's one thing that I try to do better each day, is leading by example to my children, whether it's just actions that I do or things that I say, substituting small words for others, making it seem okay. But if I'm not saying something explicit and I'm kind of watering it down, I mean, it's close enough. But that's not how we should be. We should not only hold ourselves accountable, but hold each other accountable. Because I know we all see it every day, whether it's the things we say or what we do or our actions. And we just have to hold each other accountable, because if not, then at that point we all look like hypocrites, especially to each other, especially in our church. If we're not holding each other accountable, or we're seeing those things that are close enough, I mean, it's just going to start to rub off on others. We're supposed to be the examples for one another. And if one person says one thing, whether it's watering it down or makes a comment, then somebody might else think it's okay, and it just lead off and we get to the children and so on and so forth. I mean, we have to, and I know it's hard for myself, think before I speak or think before I do. But my main text in Luke 9, that just, we'll go back to it. I want to reread it again. I'm going to reread it for my sake, because I'm easily forgettable. And he said to them all, "If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. For what is a man advantaged if he gain the whole world and lose himself, or be cast away? For whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed, when he shall come in his own glory, and in his Father's and of the holy angels." Just every time I read that, like I said, it feels like it's right at talking straight to myself. What am I doing to pick up my cross and live my life the way he did, through the suffering? I said, through the opposition against loved ones, not agreeing. It's a lonely pathway, because there's so many things out there that can guide you the wrong direction. I mean, as it says, the wolves dressed in sheep's clothing, I'm paraphrasing, but you have to, when you're picking up that cross and you're striving to live your life the way he did, and you're going to take on all of that and giving yourself up to Him and straight leaving the world behind you. It's not easy, and a lot of people don't see how hard it is being a Christian. It's not an easy life, and but the Lord chose us, so it's our job to live our life for Him. But why would we not want to? I mean, it says the need to arise, but I've also said it should be the want to arise for all of us. For what He's done for us, everything He's given us. Like I said, you could have everything you want in this world for what? The short amount of time you're here? It does nothing for you. I mean, yes, some things you have to survive. We let so many things get in the way, whether it's greed or just so many other things, selfishness or just not wanting to be uncomfortable. I mean, like these men that I talked about that traveled and things happened to them. I mean, they obviously were uncomfortable in those situations, but it just shows me that if these men are able to travel all these ways, mind you, we all know this back in the day, they can't just hop on an airplane and travel there and just try to preach the word. They traveled there, whether it was by foot or boat, or it wasn't an easy way to get there, but they did that for the Lord because of who He was and everything that He did. Uh, 2 John chapter 6. Oh, 2 John verse 6, sorry. And this is love, that we walk after His commandments. This is the commandment, that as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it. I mean, we'll never understand or have the ability to understand the love that the Lord has for us. But as it said from the beginning, I mean, it's incomprehensible, but at the same time, we should, knowing and holding each other accountable in love, we should just want to, like I said, in love, bring each other closer to the Lord, bring other people closer to the Lord, and all through love, but teaching them the right way, the truth. And you only get there by telling people who He is and what He's done. And you have to plant the seed to at least get them thinking, or the Lord to work on them. And it's not going to get done with us just, like I said, being comfortable, just sitting around, not wanting to be uncomfortable. Or it's our need to arise to just tell people who He is and what He's done for us. For the last one I wanted to look at in 2 Timothy, it was verse 11 through 13. And the reason I wanted to end on this is because it had, honestly, after I read this, it kind of kept me up thinking just to myself. In 2 Timothy 11 through 13, it says, "It is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he will also deny us. If we believe not, yet he abideth faithful, he cannot deny himself." And verse 13 was the one that really had me thinking, if we believe not, yet he abideth faithful, he cannot deny himself. What is that doing for the Lord? Or you're getting nowhere, and at that point you're just depending on yourself. If you're just at a point where you're, like it says, abiding faithful, but you don't believe, that's just one that hit personal to me, and that's what I wanted to close with. That's all I have.